Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and today I'm going to be creating a cutout rainbow in my craft journal, and it's going to have some dangly raindrops as well as a bit of an interactive element. So I've drawn a border on my page and then just sort of sketching in the rough idea of a rainbow, and I did it both sides, and then I suddenly thought I don't need to do that. If I get one side how I want it, then I can use that to trace the other side. It's often these ideas form as I'm going along. So I'm going to be using my trusty craft knife, which is a bit like a scalpel, I guess. And then I'm just going to cut out this top part of the page. So the border and then the arc of the rainbow. And that is all that gets cut out to start off with. And then I take that piece, match it to the border, flip it over, and that is what I cut out the other side. This knife must have needed a new blade in it. Was struggling with that, doesn't normally struggle. Okay, so then I decided that I would map out where my colours were going to go, and then I was going to kind of help to demarcate between the colours by adding little tiny cutout bits in between as well. So just cutting, you're going to see here that I'm just cutting out the part at the bottom where the bottom of the rainbow is going to be, and then again I'll flip that over and use that to mark out the bottom on the other side. Would have been better to draw around it there, Claire, really. It's a good job. I'm not up for health and safety, isn't it, really, hey? Oh my gosh. Talk about making this look difficult. Okay, so that popped out eventually. Yeah, definitely this knife needed a new blade. I think that's one thing I will say about these knives. They do go blunt quite quickly, but they are the best craft knife I've come across for cutting through the craft journal because the pages are quite thick. Yeah, so here I'm just mapping out my colours, making sure I've got enough space, and then you're going to see that I'm just going to do like a little tiny cutout bit in between where the colours are, just to demarcate between the colours. Okay, so that's all the cutting out done, and now it's time to start adding in the colours of the rainbow. So I have like usual ones that I always use, as you know. It's ruby, tangerine. Sometimes I might swap tangelo in for tangerine. Very rarely use cheddar. Then I use lemon, lime, turquoise, blackberry and fuchsia are often ones that I put in at the end, but sometimes I mix them up and use orchid or carnation, I suppose. Yeah, and just kind of see how I feel, really. But yeah, just going in with a few layers of colours on this rainbow. I'm not particularly worried about the colours blending either. So yeah, washing my brush in between, drying each layer before I start the next one, just so that there isn't any mixing of colours. So I've sped this up quite fast just because this really is just literally painting the colours on, and it doesn't really need me to talk over the top of it. But I appear to have done anyway. Sorry. Oh, dear me. Right, so that's the colours added on. And then once it was dry, I'm then painting the border black. So I'm just using ordinary black acrylic paint, quite a small brush. It would work just as well using a blending tool to get the paint on the border as well. So here I'm just going in with some of Dina's scribble sticks and just adding in some darker areas of colour. This just kind of makes those colours really pop. And you can see I literally am just scribbling over the top of the paint, pressing on really, really hard. I must admit, when I looked at the photos of this page, I was like, wow, those colours are so vibrant. I think that is just because I added the scribble sticks on over the top. You can see it really does brighten them up. So I am just matching colour for colour with the scribble sticks. So that has made that quite bright. Then I'm just painting the reverse of the rainbow in black. So here I'm using the Stabilo All, and I'm just outlining some of those lines where the colours join. It's almost giving it a bit of a cartoon, a sort of characteristic to it really. And then just going in with the water brush and activating those lines that I've just drawn. I love the Stabilo All pencil. I think it is one of my favourite tools, supplies. Okay, so the rainbow is starting to come together. So then I've got a piece of corrugated card just left over from some packaging, and I'm just adding some lapis paint onto that. I'm going to be cutting my raindrops out of this. I'm also adding some turquoise over the top. And then once it's dry, I am just cutting some simple raindrop shapes out of it. Okay, so then I'm just going to use some ordinary thread. It's like cotton thread. And I've stitched it through the top of the raindrop. I'm also stapling it just to make sure it stays put. And then I am literally just going to tie it through the border at the top of the page. And I'm just going to alter the length of the raindrops as well, so they hang at different lengths when the page is open. So it is quite a fiddly job, but it's quite effective. I'm also going in adding some little dots onto my raindrops just for a little bit of contrast. You can see I've also stapled the raindrops at the top on the border to help them stay put. I love creating pages with interactive elements, so little dangly things, or cut out elements, or lift up parts. It's just lots of fun. And then, of course, got to do some dots at the bottom of my rainbow using a Posca pen. So my camera must have stopped recording the very end of this, but basically all I've done that you've not seen me do is add some white dots as well. I've also used some rub-ons from one of Tim Holt's ideology range. So those are the little bits of writing that are at the bottom of the rainbow, and some of the numbers and letters that are around as well. And then I just hand wrote my quote in the centre of the rainbow. So this is a really cute page. When you open it up, the little rainbows dance around. And then, of course, you've got the cutout element of the page as well. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this interactive rainbow cutout page. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.